Hello, it's Shane. I'm here to give a quick update on what was the March 2026 featured interview for Frank's Haunted Book Society. By the way, there's Frank. That's where he lives. There's Decoy. He normally lives at the kitchen table for some reason. I've got to find a better place for him. This interview, which I just filmed yesterday, had a lot of firsts. It's my first publisher. It's the first time I've interviewed more than one person. It's the first time I've had to edit the interview because we got interrupted a couple of times. It's also the first because I want to start doing these little introductions to give you an idea of what's going on. I know I mentioned it in the interview probably a few times, but I'm very excited to have been able to sit down with Rob and Sarah. Not only are they amazing writers in their own right, R-I-G-H-T, not the other one. They've been running the Seventh Terrace, an amazing small press based in the Calgary area for the last, I believe, 7 years. And I'm grateful for them as human beings. I'm grateful for their time. I was also really excited to be able to film this at Owl's Nest bookstore in Calgary, which I'm going to put links to everything in the notes here. But if you're in Calgary, stop in and see Owl's Nest. They also have an online ordering system, so support indie bookstores. How about that? Anyway, there are changes coming to Frank's Haunted Book Society. Nothing big, and it's all for the best. We're switching gears a little bit, which is why this is now going to be considered the April 2026 feature instead of the March. If you want to learn more, check the Substack. Frank's Substack, also linked in the notes below. Otherwise, enjoy the interview. I think Miko's going to enjoy the interview. She's meowing over there. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Shane. I'm here for Frank's Haunted Book Society. Frank couldn't be here today, mostly because it's still cold outside. We'll leave it at that. I am excited to be at Owl's Nest Books in Calgary, and I'm here with Rob Bose, Sarah L. Pratt. They are the Dreaditors, among other things, with Seventh Terrace Press. They are Seventh Terrace Press. So we are featuring for the month of March 2026. It's the Noonday Demon, which is book 4 in the Purgatory series. There is an asterisk on that, but we'll get to that in a bit because there is a sort of a book 5. Anyway, yes, this is actually take 2 because technology malfunctioned, which is probably why I'm a little bit stumbly at the moment. I am, if I haven't said it, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having
and
us.
thank you to Owl's Nest, because I love recording videos with books all over the place. It's wonderful. So we're going to do this again. We're going to do a bit of a warm-up. Story behind the author, and I'm sure this might go fast because we've already talked about some of it. I apologize. We'll start with Sarah. When did you start writing? I apologize. And when did you start writing with the intent of sharing your work?
Okay, so my writing journey was a little bit different than a lot of people's who would say, I've been writing as soon as I knew how to hold a pencil. But I actually didn't learn how to read until I was about 8. And it was really hard for me. I remember pretending to read in class and looking around at everybody else, like clearly understanding what they were looking at on the page. But when I did eventually get it, because I'd worked so hard at it, I was off to the races. I read everything, absolutely everything I could get my little paws on. So I was a reader. Reading was my thing. My parents used to joke, like, the house could fall down around me. And if I was reading a book, I wouldn't even look up. And I do believe they're right about that. They're
Yes.
still right about that.
Yes.
So I didn't actually start writing until I was about 31. My youngest child was just a baby, and I was at home with him, and I had this idea for a screwball rom-com novel, which was not even a genre I read in. But I had this idea about two nerds falling in love, and I furiously wrote this entire rough draft of a manuscript in Scribblers. Um, and obviously, I was immediately writing with the intent to share. Only now do I look back and see the folly of my ways. But the people I showed it to were very, very encouraging, gave me a lot of really constructive feedback. The best part of which was, hey, there's this place called the Alexander Writers Center. They teach classes. I really think you should go and check it out. And so I did, and here I am.
There you go. So maybe we'll segue right into that with the Alexandra. Can you speak a little bit about the role the community's played in your writing journey so far?
Just about every aspect of my life can be traced, like as it is right now, can be traced back to going to that first class. Um, Friends, it's the reason I work at the bookstore, because I started hosting an open mic for AWCS.
Right.
And then when Owl's Nest said, hey, we're looking for someone to host, we want to do more events and we need someone to host and coordinate them. And I just said, me. Kind of thinking, I am finally going to get over my fear of public speaking. And I did and I didn't.
Fair.
But yeah, no, community has been everything. I definitely wouldn't be where I am right now. Rob and I met at AWCS. So yeah.
And you've actually taught a course or two, and I know that because I was a pupil.
Yes. It was a horror course, I think.
Yeah, that was a while ago. But
we were going over many of like the main subgenres of horror. That was really fun.
it was a good time for sure.
Yeah.
I've still got my notes tucked away in a little folder too. So
yeah, I've taught a course or two. I've been teaching there for many years.
Yeah.
I mostly teach novel courses. Right now I'm teaching a 10-month one called Chapter by Chapter, where we hang out with the same group September to June, and it's all about being accountable, getting feedback and support and encouragement, and learning some craft along the way.
Nice. And I'll put some links in the notes, the show notes. I was gonna say the show notes, like on some sort of weird podcast or something. Whatever this is. Yeah, I'll link to AWCS especially, and everybody. Even if you're not in Calgary, they've got some great online learning and opportunities as well. So let's shift over to Rob. I'm going to change things up a bit. When did you start writing? And when did you start writing with the intent of sharing your work?
I started writing pretty young, actually, like probably in like junior high. Really terrible things. And I wrote a few little stories, and my English teachers were always like, oh, you should write more. And I'm like, okay. And so I tried to write this novel, this horrible fantasy novel about an assassin and a silver dragon kitten thing. And it's awesomely terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
But terrible.
I still have it. I printed it out on Van Hold paper at the time, and I look at it once in a while and think, I've come a long way.
So, well, that's important too, though.
And then when I got to university,
you wouldn't want to peak in junior high.
No. But then I got to university and I was playing a lot of D&D, and I wrote a lot of campaigns and wrote a lot of things and to do with that, and started writing fantasy. And that was really fun. And then I got married and had kids and didn't write for a long time. And then about 2008, my friend Jen Fitzgerald convinced me to start writing again, and I just started writing lots of things, and then I kind of got into the community a bit because I was part of IFWA, and because I'd went to conversions before, and then When Words Collide, and then I got into Coffin Hop with Axel Howerton, and and then it's just been going on, and then I was in AWCS probably about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, I think I joined, and met Sarah there, and lots of people, and continues to this day.
For sure. Well, I was going to say, because you've got a bigger role in AWCS
I'm
these days too.
Yes, I'm the vice president on the board.
That's right. Yeah. So we're propping AWCS. It's important. Don't get me wrong there. Okay, so back to Sarah. With everything that's involved in being an author, writer, whatever label we want to put on ourselves, what is something that you're good at but don't like doing?
Oh, That's a hard question, Shane. Well, I'm really good at writing and I don't like doing it. That's an answer.
Okay. Yeah. That I understand. Okay. So on the opposite end, what is something you're maybe not so good at but that you love doing? And don't say writing.
Okay.
Because that's not true.
Not so good at but love doing. I mean, it is writing, but
You're very good at writing. That's the thing. That's what I was trying to get at. But if
I
that's
don't
your
know.
answer, we can accept
I need
it.
to think about that one.
Okay. Well, let's ask Rob the same question then. And I always get this confused, which is why I have to keep looking at my paper. What is something you're good at but don't like doing?
Like publishing. Publishing. Like
just the entire scope of it?
Well, we love getting Well, I think I speak for you as well. We love publishing books.
Yeah.
But the publishing process and the publishing industry is rough. It's time consuming. It takes away from writing. It's we don't do we're trying to do promotion and just all the things you have to do to get a book out. But once the book's out, we love it.
Oh, yeah.
And we love the idea of doing that.
Yes.
And but it's hard. But
it's sort of, I don't mean this to come across in a negative way. It's sort of like kids. It's like you go through it and you're like, never again. And then
that's why it's such a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I have my answer though. The thing I'm not good at, but I love, rough drafts.
Okay.
Yeah, my rough drafts are incomprehensible, but I have the most fun of any stage writing the rough draft.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, that's a good answer. Well, I mean, whatever answer you give is a good answer, but I like that. So, Rob, is there something that you're not so good at but that you love doing?
Writing. Sarah's the good writer.
Oh no, I think your story in Noonday proves that wrong. Sorry, not that Sarah's not a good writer. It's that you are also a good writer. I didn't mean to be like, no, your story's way better. No. I think we all tend to think we're not very good until it's reflected in someone who's read the work and enjoys it. So
I was just joking about the writing. I think self promotion is probably something that terrible at.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh yeah, that's a good anscer. That's the best answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's people ask and they go, "What do you write?" And tell me about what you're working on.
Oh,
I just kind of look at them going, "Why would anybody want to know that?"
I should have my elevator pitch, but I don't. Yeah, I getcha. So let's change gears slightly to the Seventh Terrace. Noonday Demon is the 17th book, if I counted correctly, released under Seventh Terrace. Now, there are two that are sort of maybe under, it's like a separate imprint or an imprint of Seventh Terrace. So I didn't really count those, I don't think. But
back in the early days where we thought, like, let's have two imprints.
Oh, yes.
One for crime.
Yes.
One crime and one for weird.
Yes.
Yeah, weird horror, and then Tiny Sledgehammer would be crime.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the Tiny Sledgehammer part, but yes.
But then we realized that
that was dumb.
Trying to do promotion for two different imprints and have logos and branding and everything like that. We're like, after we did a couple, we're like, no, we can barely do one.
It's a lot of work. So when was the Seventh Terrace let loose on the world?
Was it 2019?
I think about 2019,
That's when our
Yeah?
first book
because we were
came
doing
out.
we were doing Coffin Hop. Sarah and I were both part of Coffin Hop for a
Right.
few years,
Yes.
and it was also
Well, you were. I did
well,
some editing.
you did all the editing for
Yeah.
us. Yes, so
Yeah.
we hired Sarah to do the editing for all our books, but we were doing we did quite a few crime and weird books, and then when that kind of just petered out, Sarah and I are like, well, we're gonna do our own thing, and kind of pick up where that left off, and just
Mm-hmm.
We both loved horror and weird, dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we already knew we worked really well together because we worked on several of these Coffin Hop crime anthologies together. And we kind of talked about it, mostly joking about it at first, and then as time went on, it's like you said, let's do this.
Well, for 7 years, that's a lot of output. Like that's amazing.
Yeah. And you're like throwing the pandemic in there too,
right?
Right?
Yeah, that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Mm-hmm.
With the Seventh Terrace, was the intent always to publish other people's work, or did it maybe start as a way for you to get your weird horror out there?
It was mostly for other people.
Yeah.
And the books that we have out from it are the ones that lost their homes. So
Right.
Other small presses that went under.
Sarah had her Suicide Stitch, and that press went under.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Infractus, and that went under. So we redid those, and my book was at Coffin Hop,
Right.
and it wasn't being published anymore, so we republished it. So most of the stuff that we've done, just our own books, were just the old ones. But most of everything else since then is all being other people or our anthologies.
Yes,
so,
for sure. So maybe a tough, well, maybe an unfair question. I shouldn't qualify these things. In the early days of the Seventh Terrace, how did you define success then, and how has it changed 7 years later?
Well, we came up with a mantra right away, and it was, we do whatever the fuck we want.
Yes.
And then we started doing that. And I'm really glad we came up with that mantra right away, because it has really been our touchstone when things start getting unwieldy and feeling like, oh, well, we have to do this because that's what the industry is doing, or we should look at publishing these people because they're really popular.
Right.
Then we kind of have to come back and be like, okay, wait a second, we do whatever the fuck we want to do.
Well, and maybe it's not the message all the time, but that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's awesome. You've stuck with it.
Otherwise,
right?
Why do it? Right?
Yeah.
There's no money. There's no fame. There's certainly no prestige. It's a huge time suck.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing what you want, why are you doing it?
Well, that absolutely bang on. Mm-hmm. Yes, I love it. All right, we're going to talk. I'm going to hold it up again because covers are awesome. Everything inside is awesome. We're going to talk about the book, and I'm going to read a bit of the blurb just to get everybody up to speed. The world is a busy place. Everyone rushing in mad circles, somehow convinced that if you aren't winning, you must be losing. But for every unnatural force that drives you forward, there's a Noonday Demon to assist your vapid lounging, feet up, dissociating on Instagram, drinking larceniously priced mocktails, and oblivious demotivation. I got it. I was going to stumble. We invite you to join us on Terrace IV of Purgatory Towers and sink deep into these bizarre, creepish, and frequently hilarious tales of sloth. I believe I mentioned on this recording, this is book 4 in the Purgatorio anthology series. I did not include Solstice. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Is Solstice?
It's adjacent.
Adjacent is an awesome word.
It's in the Purgatorio universe.
Oh, absolutely. It is part of the universe. I just wasn't sure if we included it in the list. Also, Solstice is a wonderful seasonal book for the the winter solstice, winter holiday season. So maybe I should link to that as well, because it's also something everybody should be reading.
Because
So
you have a story in
shh.
there.
I'm very grateful you guys let me into the book, yes, but that's not why I'm pushing it. So with the previous Terrace books, you've covered lust, gluttony, and greed, and now this is covering sloth.
And avarice. There's an avarice one in there.
Is there
That's
avarice?
Greed?
Greed is avarice?
Avarice. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So, from what disturbing depths did the Purgatorio universe crawl out of? Where, obviously, this is a partnership. Yeah. How did it grow and become something that you wanted to write about?
Take it away.
We'll get arrested.
Oh, I guess we're gonna edit a video for the first time.
No, I don't know. We had it all came to be because we were writing. Since we've known each other, we wrote stories together.
Yes.
So we really love doing collaborative writing, and we had written a number of stories together, or pieces of stories, or just things. We used to just come up with an idea and then text or email a piece of it and say, "Hey, I've come up with this," and then the other one would write a few hundred words or whatever, and then send it back, and we just kind of do that, and it was really fun. And they were like, "We should do a book and write some stories together." In it, and do some of our own stories, because we'd had all these ideas, and we just kind of came up with we loved Dante's Inferno and
religious horror.
and religious horror.
Yeah.
So
There's definitely those themes are throughout.
we were both raised pretty religious, so we love to use those themes because there's so much great material in there.
Oh, for sure.
And then we just kind of I think everything came out of that Wall of Fire book, right?
Yeah, the first in the Purgatorio series.
Because that one we wrote together. That one we just did ourselves,
Right.
and we each wrote a couple stories, and we wrote a few stories together, and it kind of evolved. The universe kind of evolved out of those stories, and just the joint effort of making them.
And the Purgatorio is based on Dante's Purgatory, the Tower of Purgatory, with each terrace corresponding to one of the deadly sins. And so we thought, okay, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So volume 1 is Terrace 7. It's very confusing and probably unnecessary, but that's what we decided to do. And as we wrote these stories around the theme of the sin, lust or avarice or gluttony or whatnot, this universe kind of grew in our minds. And for some reason, in this world of purgatory, it's mostly populated by animals and dead poets.
Yes. And I have questions about both.
Very strong personalities. And it really is something that lives in our minds.
Yeah. But that, we started putting that together, and that's when Seventh Terrace, kind of the name the Seventh Terrace came from, right?
Yeah.
And our logo was Gary the penguin, right? So that all kind of just fit together, and it was serendipitous, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Which leads nicely to my next question, which is, can you tell everybody a little bit about Gary?
Oh, Gary is a lusty boy that lives in the penthouse suite of the tower. Terrace 7, lust. And he's the president of the Tenants Association.
Yeah.
So he kind of runs things at the Purgatorio Towers. And he's quite the debauched villain. But in a way that you can't help but love, I like to think.
Yes. Brilliant.
Yeah, when we were putting this first book together, this is going to sound a little weird, but we got the kind of half of the idea for the book from reading that what was it, those little sheets that you
Coffee
find?
news?
Have you ever seen the coffee news?
Coffee news?
Yeah,
like the one pagers?
Like at the diner type
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
They always have like ads.
Yes.
And little jokes and clips and cartoons and little articles and things like that.
Oh my God.
And we were sitting and we were looking at one and we're like, we're going to make a book. And that's kind of this
Yeah.
thing, and we're going to have a narrator be Gary. And I just kind of evolved out of that a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Gary actually came, remember a long time ago, I told you about my theory about penguins, emperor penguins, that they were all gay and they're all named Gary.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was the germ from which Gary
was born.
Yes, the rotten egg from which he hatched.
That's amazing.
And then we talked to Sarah's sister and brother-in-law,
Yeah.
Emily and Aaron. Aaron's does the covers for the books and stuff, and say,
Oh.
we need graphics,
Yeah.
and these are our ideas.
And Emily designed Gary.
And Emily designed Gary,
Awesome.
and like the little
Yeah.
logo, and
Which I'll post Gary
and
up to.
and Aaron did all the art,
Yeah.
like the designs for everything. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to jump around, but I won't. One last question, I guess, is what exactly do you have against poets?
Okay, so first of all, not all poets. But there's this certain kind of caricature of a poet,
Yeah.
sort of, very in love with their own words, think everything they write is worth reading or inflicting upon other people. Maybe a certain pretentiousness. I mean, by the way, this can be said of any writer.
Oh,
not just
for sure.
poets.
I think it's
It
funny.
tends to be more melodramatically pronounced in
Yeah.
poets. Let's just say that.
I know it's mostly in good fun.
It's all in good.
Because I know a lot of poets, and I will still make fun of them if I get the opportunity.
We've written poems.
Yes,
too.
and I know the theme of whatever the not so nice view on poets is sort of woven through the series a little bit. And I it's funny. It's not meant in any seriousness, but I just I appreciate it, so I wanted to ask. So Noonday specifically, I did really enjoy start to finish. It did feel a bit different to me in that it feels like a bit of a full circle moment, or it's hitting its stride, and I don't know if that's just because there's 3 books ahead of it, where you're as a reader, you're more in the world and you know all of the cast of characters. There's more behind it, sorry. I guess my question to you guys is do you feel that the series is hitting some sort of stride? And is it because of the body of work, or is it maybe something else?
It's definitely the body of work. So the framing of all the books is the tower, right? With all the characters, and each book introduces new characters and just kind of builds on everything. So it's getting critical mass of just all the characters that we have, and just the terrain or the area around the tower, and who lives where and what and who does what. And
well, maybe everything's maybe a little clearer. It's more, if it all felt more familiar, but more immersive as well. So yeah.
And we had a lot of fun writing the connectors for this one. I thought it went probably the best one, right? Like we didn't really have that in the first book, but in the second book it was the paying for the vomitorium, and then the third book was the poetry slam, and then this one was the backyard ultra. So having that, the backyard ultra really gelled for us. Like the other ones had a lot of fun bits, but this one actually felt really like we sat down and wrote it.
Yeah.
And it was really easy to write. We're like, this is so easy.
Well, even the stories themselves, in Wall of Fire, the first volume, Terrace 7, the stories were a lot darker. And I think as the volumes have progressed, we've leaned kind of more into the humorous side of things. Sometimes very dark humor, but we've had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Kind of embracing the fun. There's so much darkness in the world.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
There is. So you mentioned the what is it? The Cafe News sheets, that kind of thing. With the Purgatory books, you do have those. I don't know what to call them, intermissions, or they're kind of the threaded story between the other and contributor stories. And in Noonday, you did in Noonday it was the Busy Beavers podcast covering the Purgatory Backyard Ultra. Now, for anybody who's watching who isn't a runner, could you maybe elaborate on what a Backyard Ultra is, and if something comes to mind, share one of your favorite moments from the Purgatory version?
Well, you can explain what the Backyard Ultra is.
So, we run a lot, and we run lots of ultras. Like, ultras are like any race more than marathon distance. So marathon is like 42K, 26 miles. Anything past that, it's called an ultra.
Okay.
We do trail ones in the mountains, and the most famous one on the planet right now is probably the Barkley Marathons. If anybody's seen all the every year there's a place in, is it Tennessee or Kentucky or something? I should know this. Tennessee. It's this horrible race called the Barkley Marathons, which is like 5 marathons stacked in the mountains there.
Oh.
And hardly anybody ever makes it, if anybody. And but the race director, his name is Lazarus. He is quite a character. But his other race that he started a few years ago is his Backyard Ultra.
Yeah.
And he wanted a race in his farm, I think. So a Backyard Ultra is really common now. They're all over the world, but it came from him.
Okay.
And it's I think it's like 7.2K circle.
Right.
And you have an hour to do it. And so everybody's the last person standing wins. Everybody else loses. So it's you have to run it. You have an hour to run the 7K.
Yeah.
And at the top of each hour, you go out and you run another loop, and then you run another loop, and you run another loop until you just can't run anymore. So we love that idea. And then we were watching this show,
a documentary
called
on the Go One More
Backyard
Ultra.
Oh.
And it was so wild. There was some like auteur documentary in doing this, and it was so dramatic. And we thought, that is the framing for our next book.
Yeah.
And it worked really well because you can do it in little. They call each loop a yard.
Yes.
So I think the record now is like 4 days of running people have done so on these races. So it gets pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand that, having that sort of motivation.
And then the other thing that came to do with, so we saw that documentary, and then we read this book called Runner 13.
Yes.
Do you remember what the author was?
I don't remember her name. She's Canadian. She's in Vancouver. I don't know. She
wrote a book called Runner 13, and it's about a race out in Morocco. And the story is partly commentated by this podcaster, and I listened to the audio. It was so good, and we're like, that works together really well, having an audio podcast for a race connected to a horrible backyard thing. I think we can really do something with this. And we kicked around all these ideas, and that's what came out of it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So
it felt like you had a lot of fun doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, not to spoil anything, but is there a moment in that part of the story that you were most proud of, or made you giggle the most?
I gotta say the explosion of violence between the escaped ostriches from the factory,
and the minions,
and the furniture assembly minions from the Office Depot district
Yes.
out on the course. That was probably my favorite part to write.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anything from you?
Well, we wrote it together.
Well, you
so
wrote it together, so I guess that is a shared favorite.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
We definitely had fun with that part.
So Noonday Demon does feature stories and art by contributors Jason Pierce, Elizabeth Whitten, Susan Zhao, and Cam Hayden. I have some additional content that I'll be posting on Frank's Substack from 3 of the 4 I was able to track down, which of course will be linked somewhere. So I did a quick Q&A with them. So it's just a brief read, but it's just some more background on their stories and the whole process. So if we can talk about Succession Plan, which is Sarah's story in Noonday.
Yes.
So it's a version of hell presented through a series of emails, instant messages, and a daily journal app with some interesting advertising attached to it. So I'll use the word unfortunately. I worked a corporate job for many years, so a lot of it felt familiar in kind of gross ways.
I'm so glad, because I'm not a corporate person.
Yeah.
And I was like leaning heavily on the experiences of my friends and such.
Yes. Well, yeah, it was oddly familiar. So in your story, hell is a corporation. Assuming that that's true, do you think that hell learned from modern day corporate culture, or was it like shoveled up?
Oh the latter, 100%. Like it could only be a human invention, right?
That's kind of what I figured you
Yeah.
were going to say, but it is sad but true. Is there
A hell of our own making.
Most of the time that's what it is. Is there any particular reason that Lucifer uses a Google Pixel?
Like, because of course he would. He's just that guy.
He's
100%
just
that guy.
He's a green bubble guy.
I'm so glad you noticed.
Oh yeah, I saw. I'm like, oh, yes, okay. All right. We've got some time. It's okay. So we'll move on to Rob and your story, Greywater Blues. So you've got Titans hidden under prairie soil, spider bots, reanimated sisters kept in instrument cases. There's dark gothic reverends and a frenzied race to save the world, even though not everybody wants to save it, or maybe their idea of saving it's different. So I struggled to come up with questions because it's so well developed and there's so much going on, but it is so well developed that it's like I didn't know what to say because it was just really well done. I'm not trying to just blow smoke. Have you written this world or any of those characters before?
Well, it's funny you ask because I have a prequel story to this story coming out in Taiki's anthology that's coming out from When Words Collide, the Fascination one from Rhonda Parrish.
Oh, nice.
So it's the origin story for the spider bot. So,
okay.
And
I'm looking forward to that.
And the characters will show up again in the novel that I have coming out. So
okay.
Yeah.
And that answers my next question. Will you revisit it in the future?
Oh, definitely.
So are you writing that at the moment, or is it kind of in process?
I have the first one. It's in editing now. So,
yeah.
But those characters show up in the second book in that series. But
okay.
And then you also have the woman kept in instrument cases showing up in another series of stories.
Oh yes,
that you're writing.
In my Sword and Sorcery stories.
Oh, I hope so, because I love that concept. Everything about it. Now, something occurred to me only a couple of days ago. I finished reading the book like a week and a half ago. With your story, Sarah, and with Greywater Blues, did you take any inspiration from each other on those? Because it almost seems to me like Rob's the corporate guy. and I know he was, you come from Tabor, but it seems you're more the prairie girl. So
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it all comes back to the universe of Purgatory. We're always like pulling um, certain sensibilities from that world.
yeah.
So the idea of hell being this stuffy office, um, and the idea of this family with a titan in buried under their land, and yet it's all treated as very mundane, everyday stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we draw from that, and also we edit each other's stories, and yeah, and then we co-write together too all the time as well.
Yeah. Which is actually, I guess, where we're moving on to. So you co-wrote The Boiling Confluence, and this is an origin story for Trace and Solomon.
Yes.
Which I was excited to see. It took me a second to catch on what was going on, but yes. I know the characters best from the Torrington novella, of course, the Gopher Hole Museum in Torrington, Alberta. Everybody must know about it. I guess this almost feels like a dumb question, but have you co-written every Trace and Solomon story?
No.
No.
Oh.
Not the first one.
The very first?
The very first story was in Wall of Fire.
Yeah.
And it's the last story.
Okay.
It's kind of the end of them, I guess.
Yes, it's the first story, but the last story.
Okay.
And Trace and Solomon go to hell.
So, it's not the last. It's probably not the last. They don't die or anything like that.
Yeah.
But,
No.
But I kind of read it as the end of something.
It feels like an ending.
It was fun to write.
Yeah.
And Sarah did a massive amount of editing on that story when we were doing it, and then she's like, we're writing more of these.
I know, there was just something so magic in those characters.
Yeah.
And in some ways they're an alternate reality us.
Which
is part of what makes
I mean,
so
I
fun to
see
write.
it. I know you guys a little bit, so it's like, oh yeah, but that's, I don't know, that's fun in its own way.
Yeah.
But we had written that one, and then we wrote Torrington was the next one.
Okay.
And, at the very beginning of Seventh Terrace, that was one of the first things we wrote, actually. And we actually went up. Our friend Jim Jackson had been bugging us for a couple of years. He's like, you guys really got to go to Torrington and go to the Gopher Museum. And we're like, yeah. But we decided to go, and we did a little road trip. We went up there and like, this is awesome. We're writing a story, and we're going to set it here. So, and we did. And they tracked us down. The museum tracked us down.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like a year later after we put that out.
Oh, nice.
And, they were like, we love this story.
No, the first email was like, did you write this?
Oh,
yeah.
And so you don't know what they're going to say.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
But
no, they liked it. They thought it was great that someone wrote something. All the Trace and Solomon stories are very place specific.
Right.
All the place they take place in is always very much a character in the story.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I took from you guys at When Words Collide a couple of years ago, where you do these road trips and you go and see a place and then you'll write about it. And I love that concept. And I'm trying to find a question behind this statement. Yeah, have you done any like road trips recently, or do you have anything planned where you're gonna with the purpose of writing? Or
I have had a quest for the last several years to go to Etsicombe to the Windmill Museum.
Oh,
so that is the next on my personal bucket list for road trips.
and where's Etsicombe?
It's in Alberta somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay, I'll get the map out.
And they have a windmill museum.
Oh.
Like, tell me you're not going to find some inspiration for a story.
Oh, there's going to be something there for sure.
Southern Alberta Windmill Museum.
Sorry, my mind is spinning now. That's exciting. So obviously you do a lot is relative, co-writing. Do you have a favorite part of that, of the process? I mean, obviously I'm going to assume it wouldn't go as well as it does if you didn't have the relationship that you do with each other. But is there something beyond that you like enjoy? Oh,
Hi, sorry, we're actually closed.
we have an interruption. We'll be right back. We're back. Sorry, there was unintentional customers.
So weirdly enough, we do have a process for writing a Trace and Solomon story.
Yeah.
Usually one of us we either find a place that we want to go and check out, or we find it online and do a ton of research. And then we usually go for a couple of runs and chat about ideas if we want to write a new story.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Arby's.
Yeah.
We go to the Arby's over in Canyon Meadows.
Yeah.
And brainstorm the story, and we sit and we write it and talk about it and horrify usually everybody that's in
everybody that's eating,
because we're laughing hysterically and talking about strange things usually.
That's wonderful.
And then we sit and we just kind of, I don't know, storyboard it, I guess. And then we kind of split it up, and then one of us decides. Then one of us just starts writing it.
Yeah.
And writes. We kind of storyboard it so that it can have sections.
Yeah.
Usually like 5 or 6 sections, and then we'll write a section and hand it over, and then.
That's the funnest part, actually, when he's written a piece and then I get to read it before I write my piece.
Yeah.
And it's always really, really fun. And we always think like, oh, the idea isn't that complex. This is only going to be, a 3,000 word story, and they end up being like 8,000, 10,000 words every time.
Do you, with your sections, are you doing it in a linear fashion? Like you'll write yours like back and forth.
Yeah.
It's never like plotting it out in any way, shape, or form before it gets to that section.
Well, we usually have our.
You have your storyboard for sure, But okay.
But otherwise, we don't want to plan it, outline it in too much detail, because half the fun is I get inspired by what he just wrote and I run with it. Right?
Yeah. Well, I suppose even if you did write, it would probably mean a lot of adjustments or throwing away whatever you had done.
Mm-hmm. But by the time we're done one of those co-writes and we go back and read it, we have a hard time telling. We don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm like, remember that thing you wrote that was so funny? And he's like, you wrote that. Did I?
That's awesome, though. Is there anything about the co-write process that is a bit of a struggle or a slog? Like, I don't want to paint it in too negative terms, but
not really. But it makes it hard to write other things sometimes. Like we get into it, so we don't write. Neither of us write very fast, but we can write a Trace and Solomon story really quickly.
Yeah.
Like we can throw one of these together in a week or two. Like 13,000 word novella, no problem. And then we sit and struggle with our own stuff. But if we do it together, then there's always like how long like you have 2 days to write your section, and then
right.
So there's a little bit of pressure.
Yes,
a tiny bit. Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think there's any downside to it at all, actually.
Well, no, and that's amazing.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like some of the most joyful writing I do these days, for sure.
And it's nice to have that for sure.
Yeah.
Because in my personal experience, it doesn't always go so well.
But when we talk about co-writing and collaborative writing, people are just like, I don't want to hear about it. They're not interested. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe that comes from a place of just not understanding it. Because I've read, I don't, I haven't read a whole lot of co-written stuff. Yeah. Mostly Terry Pratchett and different authors on the other side of that, but it's always been a curiosity to me, I guess, because I've never. I'm a bit of a control freak, so I don't know how I would handle someone else's. I'm sure it would be fine, but yeah, it's not something everybody gets into, which is why it's interesting, and it's great that you guys have this system going to Arby's. Okie doke. So what? And I feel like I've asked this, or we've already talked about this, maybe off camera. What comes next in your personal writing journey?
I have a short story collection coming out maybe towards the end of the year, maybe early 26.
Mhm.
Short story collection called Guilt and Honey through Trepidatio, which is an imprint of Journal Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my next thing that's coming.
Excellent. And again, I think you've mentioned the next novel coming up.
Yeah, I have a novel called Queen in Amber. It's kind of a cosmic horror set in Crowsnest Pass.
Oh yeah.
And it's done. It's just being edited right now. And Janice Blaine has done the art for it.
Right.
And it's going to be really nice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and I know this list might be a little bit long, but what's next for the Seventh Terrace?
We got quite a few this year.
Fire Sands.
Fire Sands is next.
Yes.
So that's Randy Nichols Schrader's. I don't know how to describe it. It is weird.
Bizarro eco-punk dystopia set in the far future Alberta.
Amazing.
You've never read anything like it.
It is really...
I am looking forward to that one for sure.
So we're working on that, editing it right now and getting it all put together. And then we have a crime anthology.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the Coffin Hop days, we did AB Negative.
Right.
It was a crime anthology set in Alberta, writers set stories set in Alberta.
Yep.
So we're kind of doing a spiritual successor to that called Murder Most Alberta.
Yes.
And it'll be out for VoucherCon. So Rick Overwater and Jeff Campbell are editing that.
Right.
So I think the cutoff for stories was just like last week.
It was the 15th. Yeah.
So that's just being put together now. So we're just getting that all started. So that'll be out for VoucherCon.
Nice.
What else are we working on? We're working on the next Futility comic. So Cam Hayden, who does the comics for our Purgatory series.
Yep.
So and Rick Overwater have a comic called Futility, and we're going to be putting out a little graphic novel, issue 6, at some point here. So.
And we're going to be writing a little story for the back of the issue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So we're going to try to do the old kind of Savage Sword of Conan style magazine. Black and white with like a little feature story in the back. Like prose story and things. So I think it'll be really fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That sounds really awesome. So what in the realm of horror or dark fiction, is there a book, indie, small press preferably, but whatever, what in the realm of horror would you suggest to everyone who's watching? Even if it's not something recent that you've read, but like a favorite of yours.
Well, this is not indie nor is it small press, but Tom's Crossing by Mark Z. Danielewski. I just finished reading it. It's 1,200 pages long.
Oh, yes.
And it has been living in my brain large. I have the worst book hangover from it.
Yeah.
So it's a monumental task to read, and it's not for everybody, but man, what a book. What a book.
Yeah, when you mentioned the 1,200 pages the first time we talked about it, I'm like, I visibly cringed because that is terrifying to me. But no, maybe one day I'll book off a couple of months and just try and tackle something like that.
Yeah. What have I read recently that's been really good? Was it A Short Stay in Hell? Was that what it was?
A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck.
Stephen L. Peck.
Yes.
It's
tiny little book.
It's a tiny little
it is.
book. So,
and amazing.
I read it because when we were at Noir at the bar, you brought it up. And I remembered it was on my list, and I read it, and it is amazing. Yeah.
And then the other one that we have at ARC, we have Randy Nichols Schrader's new book.
It's all good.
Sinner's Feast. It's a very dark. It's from New West. It's coming out, I think, in May or June.
Yeah.
And It's Mennonite Mafia set in
Oh,
southern
right.
Alberta. It's really, really good.
Yes.
So, it's-
Okay.
yeah.
Lots of good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Amazing.
small press, I mentioned my story collection coming out through Trepidatio, but I was really happy to find a home there because they publish a lot of women writing horror that
Oh,
I
yeah.
love. There's a collection called Dark Blood Comes from the Feet that I really loved.
Oh,
And I can't remember the author right now, but they've also published a lot of Gemma Files, who is probably one of my favorite working horror writers at the moment.
right.
Her book Experimental Film just like blew my mind and freaked me out.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah, her work is still something I need to get into, but one day I'm trying to pick away at the books on the unread shelf or shelves at home already. So
But like for a publisher like Undertow
Mhm.
from Toronto,
Yeah.
anything they put out,
yeah.
because they have their weird horror magazine that comes out a couple times a year. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they're a really great small press.
Yeah.
But they do weird horror. They put an anthology or a collection out every year. They do the weird horror of the year anthology. They brought it back,
Right.
so I have the first one of that, and the second one will be coming out at some point here soon, I think.
Hmm.
And, or he's collecting stories for it. So yeah,
Okay.
that's a great. Anything they do is really good.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth
I
checking out a good Canadian.
I know I follow them, but yeah, I'll have to dig deeper into that one for sure.
You know, if you ever want to read anything, I think I have all of their books.
Okay. Good stuff.
So
I appreciate it. Okay. I think that's about it. And only a couple interruptions. But we roll with it. It's all good. So, once again, Rob and Sarah, thank you. I really appreciate you setting aside the time. I appreciate the venue, even with limited interruptions. Thank you to Owl's Nest. Thank you to you guys. Yeah, this has been really good.
Thanks for having us.
No, and I'm happy
Thanks
to
for
support.
reading the book.
Oh well, no, that's the whole point. And I know I know I'm a bit behind. I think there is one of them I still have to finish, but it is a great series. Once again, March 2026. I don't remember the date. Noonday Demon is the book from the Seventh Terrace. It is on Amazon. Not that I always like to promote Amazon, but it is the way. So that is.
you can get it here. So
Is it at Owl's
Also
Nest as well?
available at Owl's Nest.
that's where you need to buy it.
Come to Owl's Nest and buy Noonday Demon. Yeah, this has been the March 2026 version of Frank's Haunted Book Society. Look forward to an announcement soon for our April featured author, and I'm looking forward to keeping this going. So thank you. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Thank you again to Rob and Sarah. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or morning.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
No, it's been amazing. All right.
That's our wrap.
That's a wrap. Now people can walk through the door.
Yes.